Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. I do hope you're well today. Right, we're back in Misty Marsh. I'm loving this zoo. It's coming along very nicely. So, your ideas and suggestions that have come through in the comments. The last set of comments, so I'm recording a fair bit in advance. I'm about 2 weeks ahead of you guys now because I had a bit of time off work. I managed to sort of get ahead of myself, which is good in a way, but it does mean that when you leave me comments, I don't get to action anything until, in your eyes, a couple of weeks later. So the comment that I really liked was from Gardening for Health and Wellbeing, Stephen, I believe. You said about having spectacled caiman down under here in our cave. Now, I don't know if this cave was fully finished actually in the episode that you just watched. So I'm just looking around, and I love the idea of it, but I think now that the mist is in here, I'm not sure. Although, do you know what? I could kind of create a cave here somehow, couldn't I? And have a little area where the spectacled caiman live. I quite like the idea. I'm really tempted. Because this is what I want to do in this show. I want to keep sort of coming back to areas and making changes and adding things on. So I'm tempted. You've tempted me. What can I say? Well, let's do it. Let's have a look. Let's see what we can do. So let's get rid of this. Now the mist itself is going to have to stay. I can't do much about that because I don't know where the bits are, basically. So what I'll have to do is remove the water. That's it. The mist was in the water, wasn't it? So actually, that works quite nicely. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is going to work a bit better than I thought. So if I do flatten to foundation, I can kind of bring this out, can't I? And create an area under here where the caiman can live. Quite like this, the idea that this front bit still sort of hangs down. Now that's not quite working there. I wonder if that could actually be the edge of the zoo there. That might explain why it's not quite working. Let's bring it back here instead. Right, yeah, so that's not going back any further there, so I suspect, because I think, yeah, that's the edge of the zoo. So I suspect that's what's happening there, is that we've reached the edge, but that's fine. Let's take it right back in here. Let's just get rid of these for now, and we can always put some back in again. Right, now the important thing is that I get the water in a suitable way that it still works. Okay, so the water is still under there. I don't know what that random little cross is just there. Oh, it's one of the lights. I just haven't sunk it in enough. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether I can actually attach an entrance here. Let's try it. Let's see what we can do. Let's get one of these. Let's get a glass one in. Hang on. Right, now I suspect that is because the land is too low above it. So let's just do a little bit of pushing here. Let's push this back and just lift it all up. And hopefully I can get in an entrance. I may have to lift some more of this up enough so that the keepers can actually get in properly. There we go. unfortunately it's not connecting. Right, let's just see what we can do here. Hey, look at that. Okay, that's a good start. Now let's just get some railings on. Right, now I can have a look at this a bit more detailed here. So yes, I can't go that way, so we'll go out a little bit further this way. Oh no, that's okay, interesting. Not quite sure why it's doing that. I don't mind that. I can disguise that with a rock and make it look like it's sort of on purpose. So what I think I'll just do here is just get rid of this water for a second, and then come back to this and just flatten this out a little bit, I think. So, yeah, there seems to be there's a bit of a rise there, so I can just make it so you got some water here. Actually, do you know what, I'm just gonna lower it even more here actually, just so the water is a little bit deeper for them to actually swim in here. There we go, so the water is now right under the whole thing and coming into here. That's good. What we'll do is just sink that into there. So the water itself, I wanted it clear. I didn't want bubbles, I wanted mist. Just do the mist to halfway and see what it looks like. Right, now let's come into here. I think what I'll do, let's just try and make this a little bit better looking. Yeah, I think concrete is probably the way to go. I might hide that because it doesn't blend together very well, does it? Right, and then I need to try and get all of this kind of covered in. It's very tricky when you're trying to work underground. Now I have no idea if the caiman are going to be able to swim under there. I'm going to extend their habitat around the back here, just in case they can. And into there. Okay. Interesting. Right. I guess we ought to get them in then. So, what are they called? Spectacled caiman. Although they're quite big actually, aren't they, those caiman? We have got the dwarf caiman. I'm going to go for the dwarf caiman because I just think the other ones might be a bit too big. I think caiman are actually quite big, but these ones are the small ones. I assume these are probably the ones that you meant. If they're not, I apologise, but I just think the dwarf ones are going to work better. Cool, so let's get them in. Let's do some painting in here, because obviously we don't want grass underground. So I'll have to do some rock work to kind of make it all work and look right. I like the idea of them being able to swim under here. Obviously we've got no escapes on, so they won't disappear, but I kind of like the idea that it looks like they can just swim around the whole area. Okay, so while we're waiting for them to arrive, let's come in here and let's just have a look at a little bit of rock work in here. Let's have a look. Let's see what they can do. Yeah, that's the right size, isn't it? Ah, they can't go in the water. What? I wonder if that's... No, that's odd. Okay, I wonder if that's anything to do with the height of the roof here. If I just bring that up a bit. No. Why on earth are they not going in the water? I can't imagine that's too steep for them, but let's just try and smooth this out. It could be that. I mean, it didn't exactly look rough, did it? What is going on there? Why does it seem to think they can't go in the water? I mean, they are swimming animals, surely. Yes, of course they are. So why does it not think they can go in the water? I can only think maybe this bit here is too low. I mean, they would go in the water even if the water wasn't deep enough for them to really swim in. I think they would still go into it. Okay, I'm going to just try putting a rock in as a slope. I'm pretty sure this is not the problem. No. Right, for some reason it's not going to let them go in the water. And I don't know why that is. I mean, that's clearly a bug of some sort, I would say, because they should just go in. It's just water. They are swimming animals. Well, if you've got any thoughts on that, please let me know, because that's absolutely bizarre. That has got me stumped. I wonder if it's... I can't imagine it's because it's not a separate piece of water. But I wonder if I need to make it a separate piece. Okay, let's try something. Let's bring this in here. Right, and then let's go along here. Okay, now I'm going to try and sort of make this as big as I can. Like that. Let's just get rid of this tree. Okay, so now you've got water in there. Means I've got to do water separately on this side as well. Like that. So now the two areas are separate. Does that make any difference? None at all. Wow. Although, actually that hasn't gone right underground, has it? No, I really don't know what's going on there. I preferred how it looked before, where it looked like they could go everywhere. Right, I'm just going to put this back to how it was. Let's just move all of that back to there. Okay, let's just leave it like that then. If that's actually, let's get the water back in. If that's what it wants to do, I may just have to leave it like that. I don't know. I don't know what else I can do. The animals are not going to go in the water, and I don't know why. They just won't, which makes no sense. I'm tempted to give them another bit of water back here, just so they have actually got something they can go in. You know, I could create an extra little water area back here. You know, just so they have got something. Let's see. I assume they're going to go into that. No, they're not. What is going on? I have no idea. If you've got any thoughts, let me know, because it's kind of ruining this this habitat. I'll be honest. It's not a lot of point having them here if I can't let them go in the water. I don't think it's because it's underground. I can't imagine that's a problem. But the poor little creatures are not going to get what they want. I mean, luckily we've got all the settings turned off, so they don't actually need to be able to get underwater, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I'm just going to go with it. It's gonna look good, and I will leave it at that. And yeah, it's just weird. I don't know what's going on there. So I'm just going to get some rock work along the back here. You know, just to kind of break up this back wall. Yeah, that's definitely the edge of the zoo there, isn't it? Right, and then this this pillar here. See if I can just cover this up. Like so. Right. And I will just try and hide these little gaps. Okay, so at least it looks like they can't get out there. They can obviously get out this side, but that's kind of what you want it to look like. So that's all good. So it just looks like they can just escape and just go underneath the cabin and around this side or whatever. Cool. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just check on their enrichment stuff, see what they've got. Now, what were they called? Cuviers, that's it. I can never remember the first word. Right, what do we have? Ooh, I don't suppose I'll be able to fit one of these in. No, that's a shame. That's probably because it's underground as well. It just doesn't seem to like anything underground. Right, let's get one of these in. I'm going to get a duck in the water just because, you know, you've got to have a duck in the water, really, haven't you? Let's give them a little ball. Let's give them a pumpkin. Let's give them a block of ice. A little scent marker if I can. And what else have we got? I gave them a ball already. I think that's, yeah, that's fine. Do you know what? I just thought, what's the staff area? Yes, good. The staff can go in. And the animals can get around their land at least, but just not the rest of it, which is very odd. Never mind. Right, let's get back to here then. Let's have a look at these roots again, which just look cool. Let's see if I can start making this all look a little bit wild. So I just want to kind of get this all around the outside, and then we'll get a whole load of foliage growing in as well. You know, kind of make it look like it's all been here for a long time, you know. Ooh, I quite like that. That looks kind of funky, doesn't it? Very cool, these roots, actually. I do like them. I think they're a very nice piece. There you go. That just makes that back edge look a bit nicer, doesn't it? Right, and then we've got the old tree ferns, which are kind of tricky to get in underground here, but let's try and squeeze one or two in. Lovely stuff, and then I'll get a whole load of these in. We love our big ferns, don't we? What are these ones? I can never remember. The bird's nest ferns, that's it. I do like these ones. Nope, that's floating. Hang on. Oh, we've got a crocodile climbing on the rock, on the roots there. That's not too bad. It's not the worst graphical glitch that I've seen. There we go. Let's get some smaller ones in. That one's gone a bit of a funky angle, hasn't it? Hang on, let's try that again. Right, I think I might just get rid of this aligning to surface for a minute, and then I can kind of dot them all over the place around the back here. That ball has got a little bit lost there actually, so I might just want to do something with that. Oh no, there we go, it's still working just fine. Let's just get one or two around this middle bit here, and then I know it's not a plant that actually would grow underground like this. In fact, most of this stuff wouldn't, but I do like these hostas for their foliage. So let's get a load of these in. Nice. Good. So I'm trying to make it look fairly jungly, but so that you can still see the animals quite clearly. And I know they can't go in the water, but you know, it's fine. Oh, look at that! We've got some water pouring in there. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? That must be coming in from up the top somewhere. I really like that idea, actually. I'll tell you what, that's a happy mistake, actually, isn't it? Let's whoops. Let's actually put some water pouring in. Maybe at the back here. You know, it can just be randomly pouring in like that. I might have to see where that one's coming in and sort that out, because that looks a bit odd. I kind of like the idea of some water just randomly coming in like this, just from an underground stream or whatever. That looks kind of cool. Right, and then let's just come back to here. And I think maybe just see if I can... hang on. That's the edge of the zoo there, so it's really tricky to get any decent looking rocks here. Yeah, I just wanted to get it to look like there was a bit of rocks kind of here, with the water kind of cascading down over them. else have we got? Yeah, something like that, and then let's just see if I can just squeeze a bit in here as well. Yeah, just so it looks like the water's kind of covering the rocks. Doesn't really matter where it's coming from, just looks kind of cool just having some random waterfalls, doesn't it? Excellent. Right, and then let's just see if I can put a bit of media in. Now, what have we got? I reckon I could squeeze in one on this corner here. Something like that. And let's get a bit of education going on there. Oh, right, we are missing a rock down here for that leg to be standing on. There we go. Right, so you've got your education there. You've got people coming down to watch them, so that's cool. And I know they can't go in the water, but I don't know why that is. But I've made the most of it. You know, they're happy, they're fine. They've got a nice bit of land to walk around on. And then we're also doing animal talks. So let's get a talk point down here as well. That may have to be kind of right on this corner here. Yeah, that's fine. So that's number 5. So that'll be May. And let's just call this one Dwarf Caiman. And there we go. There is our Caiman habitat. I quite like how that's turned out. I think that was a good idea of yours, Stephen, to put a little habitat down under there. I'm sorry that it's not worked out with the water. If you have got any ideas on why they won't go into the water underground, please do let me know. It's a bit of a mystery, but at least I've made it look nice. I think I have anyway. And it's something extra to get people down here as well, which is a really good idea. So there we go. Let's leave that there. So what are we doing next? I mean, I'm always doing more detailing. One idea that you also had was it was something to do with the cafe area. I think it was you again, Stephen, that suggested having it all decked on one level or something like that. I'll be honest, I didn't entirely understand what you meant. So if you want to sort of clarify what you meant in your comments, that would be really good. I didn't entirely understand. I do like my idea here. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. Is the big problem. Basically, I want to rock out all of these gaps and all around these and make it almost like a mountain that comes quite high, with water pouring down and trees and all sorts of things like that. So it's quite a tricky thing to try and do, but it's a challenge, and that's kind of what I want in this zoo. I just thought, did I do anything around here for these animals? I haven't done any sort of talk point on it ever. I think I've been doing talk points so far, haven't I? I have, and media as well. So I should just get that in over here. So let's just get a talk point. I think here by the entrance would make sense. And let's make this one June. Let's call this one, how do you spell that? Proboscis monkey. Cool. So that is that done, and I should try and get some media in as well. Just wondering if I can attach this onto this this fencing like this. Get one there. It's quite a big habitat, so I can kind of spread these around the edge like this. I think that looks quite nice, and maybe no, probably not under here. Actually, I might get one under here once I decorate. Obviously, all of this needs sort of kitting out with something. I haven't quite worked out what I'm doing under there yet. But yeah, I think at least having these ones going for now will be good. I have to just check that I've got enough enough educators actually as well. Let's just have a quick look at my staff situation. Well, I need more keepers. I'll tell you what, have I actually set up any work zones yet? I haven't, no, they're just randomly walking around. To be honest, I'm okay with that. I think this zoo is going to be a tricky one to do work zones for. I should try and squeeze in some more keeper huts actually, shouldn't I? Because I'm not really sure I've got many keeper huts at all at the moment. Let's just check educators. Yeah, let's get some more educators. Want plenty of these walking around talking to people. Yeah, how many keeper huts do I have? Have I literally just got one keeper hut that I put over here? In fact, I haven't even got one there. Hang on a second. Let's see, buildings. Right, what have I got? So that's, I've got a keeper hut in here. Is that right? I've got one large keeper hut. And that is doing everything at the moment. What are those? Oh, vending machines. And that is all cafe stuff. Okay, so I need to squeeze in some more keeper huts. I will look at that in the next episode. I will maybe try and get one down the back here, kind of squeezed into the rock somewhere. I guess this one is serving... What have we got? We've got one habitat entrance there. And we've got one down here. So yeah, if I can get one back here, that would kind of serve those two. But then I'm going to need one over here somewhere for this as well, which I can squeeze and I can sort of make it part of this complex actually. And then I will have to try and get one down underground here. No, here. I don't know. I'm lost. I will try and squeeze in a keeper hut under here somewhere, I think, as well for the Caiman. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. That was an interesting episode. You see, I do act on your comments. I do my best anyway. It's not always going to work out, but I try my best. Let me know what you think of the dwarf Caiman going under the ground there. And if you have got any thoughts on the whole swimming situation, please do let me know. And Stephen, if you can clarify your comments on this cafe area, that would be really helpful. I can't guarantee that I will act on them, but I was intrigued by what you meant. But hopefully you kind of get where I'm going with this area. And once I get going on it, I think you'll enjoy what I have in mind. I hope, I think. But we shall see. But that's going to do it for now. So let's leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me once more. I do hope you've enjoyed the episode. Please do join me again in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye for now.